Hey, hey, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome and come on into the room. It's me, Alviana Brewster, the CEO of Black Nurse Entrepreneurs, the premier organization for Black nurses who are interested in launching, building, and growing their entrepreneurial endeavors worldwide. I am traveling this week, but I still wanted to present you guys with my topic for Saturday, like I've been doing for the past few months. And so today is all about how can I make business planning easier? So let me recap a little bit and remind you what we've been talking about over the past few months. April was all about automation. May was all about momentum. June was all about operations. And now July is all about business planning. And so I wanted to talk to us today. I wanted to give you guys a couple of tips on how to make business planning a little easier because I understand that it may be a little bit intimidating to some of you, including myself at one point. It was one of those things like it's not something that's natural for me. And so I have to actually really, really think through it and really plan in far in advance for whatever my plan that I'm working on for that to really work out or be beneficial. So anyways, I wanted to give you a couple of tips that you can take with you and hopefully implement into your business today that will help business planning go a lot smoother for you. So first off, what I want to tell you is you got to embrace it. Start by working on your mindset around business planning. Now, of course, some of you it's super easy for, but those of us who struggle with it a little bit, I want to encourage you to wrap your mind around the process of business planning and how much easier and better it's going to make your life once you institute some of these tips today, okay? Now, as you are thinking about business planning, maybe it's a project that you want to launch or a new service, and you want to plan out maybe a trip or event or a challenge or something. Whatever you're doing, you always want to think it through and plan it out before you obviously launch anything. Now, again, I want to bring this up really quickly. Has this been you? Have you potentially had an idea that you wanted to launch something, and maybe even you set a date, and then the date came and went, and you didn't launch anything? If that is you, drop me something in the comments so I know that this is resonating with you. That has been me multiple times where I set a date and couldn't meet the obligation because we didn't properly plan it out. And so I'm starting to become more I'm starting to really think about how important it is and starting to make that a priority. Hey, good morning, Felicia. And so what I want you to do is think and plan things out in advance. Now, you must involve your team. Those people that are on your team that are there to help you, that are surrounded, that you're paying for, involve them in the process. Get their feedback, get their ideas. Y'all sit down and brainstorm. It may even require a session, a special session to actually just think things through and jot down your ideas before you start the process of actually putting something into place. So you could even schedule, maybe quarterly meetings, monthly meetings that are set just around planning out things that you're wanting to do in the future within the business. So make sure that you involve the team. You want to set and understand clear-cut goals and objections for whatever project that you're working on. Make sure that things are very specific. Make those SMART goals. Make sure things are specific and they're clearly communicated across the board, so everybody that's on the team and involved in the project has a good understanding of what you guys are going to be doing. And then you want to make sure in your business planning that you are breaking down projects and prioritizing the things that make the most sense and when to do them. Obviously, us as nurses kind of have a good understanding of prioritization, but sometimes I've noticed that when it flips over to business, we struggle with it a little bit. And so I want you guys to be cognizant of this may be something that is challenging. So when you're thinking about your projects and things, when you're sitting down and really brain dumping and thinking about what you're going to launch, make sure that you're prioritizing and putting those tougher or the more important things at the beginning of the project. But like I said, you and your team really sit down and really think about what it is that you're wanting to do and what you're wanting to achieve. Make sure that you institute some type of project management tool. You can use Google Sheets or Excel. You can use those. I honestly recommend more robust software such as Trello. Trello and Airtable have free versions that you can utilize. You can use Asana or ClickUp. We currently use ClickUp. I went from Trello at first to Airtable, and now we use ClickUp. Whatever you decide to use, make sure that it works and benefits you and your business. Obviously, I don't want you to spend a bunch of money and time on something that's not going to be beneficial. It's not bad to have someone on your team that really understands project management tools and software that can help you to build it out. But the good thing about these tools is it really keeps your team in the assignments on task so that you can set a goal and you guys can be very, very diligent about meeting those goals. And you can set reminders and deadlines and all of that in these project management tools that will really help you to stay on task. I want to remind you to delegate. Please do not think that you can do these tasks all by yourself. When you are business planning, I want you to highlight the individuals that you need to bring on or involve in your projects and delegate to them as much as you can. Okay. Now I get it. You're the CEO, you're overseeing some of this stuff and what have you, especially maybe you don't have a operations person on staff. So it might be you that's really overseeing, but remember, you can't do everything by yourself. And remember, 2 is better than 1. So delegate, but also remember too, the people that you're delegating to, make sure that they have the skill set to be able to carry out the task. Don't be delegating to people that don't know anything about what we're trying to get done. Okay. Actually, I would suggest remove them off the team or put them on another assignment, but that's a whole other conversation for another day. Okay. What I want to really, really reinforce is the delegation piece, because you can't do it all by yourself. And we tend to, as CEOs, we tend to think that nobody else can do it better than we can. And we tend to be control freaks. We want to have control over everything, but the reality is you can't do everything by yourself. And not only delegate, but I want to come back around to maybe a project manager or operations person on your team, and maybe delegate the oversee of the project to them so that you don't have to be involved in the weeds of it every single day. Always. They can oversee it. They can streamline it. They can make sure that the tasks are broken down into small chunks. They can make sure that deadlines are met. They can make sure that there's an accountability system in place. So don't forget, make sure that you are delegating out. Now, I also want to remind you that clear-cut communication and processes are a must. It is very hard to carry out any project, any planning in your business when you yourself are not clearly communicating your thoughts, your ideas, your expectations, as well as the team. If that is not a part of your team's communication, then listen, things are going to go downhill, or you're going to become more stressed out and overworked and overwhelmed. And so making sure that you sit down with the team and clearly communicate and require that back of them. Set that as an expectation that we do clearly communicate everything and that we do have processes in place. If the processes are not working, clearly communicate to them the expectation that you come to me or to whoever's overseeing that part of the task, and you communicate with them that, hey, this is not working. I feel like maybe we could do it a better way or a different way. Don't wait until the ship is sinking before you decide to communicate these things. Okay. It's not going to work that good. Y'all know I get passionate about these things. Okay. Another very important thing about business planning and project management is deadlines. Clear-cut deadlines. Clear-cut deadlines. Y'all quit saying that we're going to do this in April and don't actually set a date. Everything needs to have a date. And I'll tell you a reason why. Even though the date might give you a little bit of anxiety and push you a little bit, it's meant to do that. It's meant to give you something to work towards. Okay. So if you have a date in mind and it's set, then the team knows that we need to work towards that date. Now, if there's a situation where you can't meet the deadline, that's fine. You come back as a team and you reevaluate. Maybe we need another week or 2 out in order to complete this. but set a clear-cut deadline that gives you something to work towards. If you don't set a deadline and you don't try to achieve your goal towards that deadline, what you will be doing is keep pushing out, pushing it out, pushing it out, pushing it out. And you don't want that, and your team does not need that, and the company does not deserve that. So make sure that you set a clear-cut deadline. All right. So just to recap, I want to just kind of, and I want to say, hey, I see you guys. I see Tamisha. She says she's currently working on 3 projects with 3 completely different teams. Ooh, Lord have mercy. It sounds like we need to pray for you. That sounds like a lot. But hey, Tamisha, drop in the comments. I'm curious how that's going. Drop down in the comments and let us know how the project management and the overseer of the projects, and drop in the comments if there's something that you have noticed or highlighted that maybe y'all could do better or differently moving forward. One other thing that I want to say that I failed to mention is with your projects and your planning, launch and launch often, because the more you launch, the better that you will get at doing this. Okay. It becomes scary in the beginning, but it's with anything. The more reps that you do, the better you become. So launch often, and also make sure that you are monitoring your projects and the planning that's going on. Make sure that you are looking at your numbers and your KPIs. Very important. And then at the end of anything that you're working on, make sure that you come back as a team and review what's working, what didn't work, what could we have done better the next time. So I hope those tips help you. To recap, project management and business planning is a must in your business, or else you'll be out there willy-nilly launching some stuff, hoping for the best, maybe not meeting your deadlines, maybe not even launching it at all because you keep pushing the deadline. You will become overworked, overwhelmed. How do I know this? Been through it, been there, done that. I want you to embrace what business planning looks like. I want you to embrace it far in advance. So whenever you're doing specific projects, depending on the project, you might need to plan it out far in advance. Like if you're doing an event, you probably need a good 9 to 12 months to get that event, depending, like if it's a conference, for sure. Now, if it's a brunch, you might need a few months to plan that. If it's a challenge, you might need a couple of weeks to plan it. So depending on what the project is, dictates how long you need to plan in advance in order to execute in excellence. Okay. Don't forget to communicate with your team and involve them as heavily as much as possible. Obviously, depending on what the project is and if they are required to be involved in that project, you want to make sure that you're delegating, clearly communicating expectations, clearly communicating when things are not working well, but when things are working well, giving feedback and encouraging them and giving them your love and support because of a job well done. But also make sure that you utilize tools that are in place to help you to plan things out. Don't do this all on paper, okay? We have tools nowadays that we can utilize that help us greatly. And then make sure that you set clear-cut deadlines. That gives you something to work towards. Hey, thank you. I appreciate you for tuning in. Like I said, I was traveling, but I did not want to miss out on giving you some very specific information about project management and business planning today. I hope this has blessed your spirit. I want to remind you that this week coming up is our B&E anniversary. I'm super excited for it because that means B&E has been around for 8 years. I cannot believe it. But we've been around for 8 years. I have a lot of things planned for us. So make sure that you are watching the group because I've been dropping tons of things. We have an important interview on Monday. One of our nurses was able, just this time last year, she came to one of our events and got connected with a coach within our elite membership. And she has skyrocketed. Literally by January, she was enrolled in a program. And by June, July, she has crossed over the 6-figure mark in the program. And within her business, while only working her business part-time. It speaks to the importance of dedication. It speaks to the importance of team and community connections, coaching and mentorship programs, all of that good stuff. So on Tuesday, the 25th, our actual anniversary day, I have a special guest coming. She's a financial guru and expert. I am super excited about this. And then on Wednesday, we have an elite Q&A special that we are doing. So we have a lot going on. There will be some giveaways, so stay tuned. And I'm just excited. We have lasted 8 years, and that is a great feeling. I do want to encourage you, if you're not a part of our elite membership, I encourage you to join us. You can go to the website at blacknurseentrepreneurs.org. And at the top right-hand corner, there is a link for the membership. Hey, that is my time. Thank you so very much for tuning in. If you're listening on replay, drop replay in the comments so I know that you're rocking with me. But if you have some business planning tips that you have noticed in your business to work, drop them in the comments too. I want to hear your feedback and your input on the things that have worked versus the things that you'll never do again. Okay? Bye for now. Thank you for